Great morning, everyone. So we are looking at simultaneous equations in this video. The question reads as: solve the following equations algebraically and give your answer in insert form where applicable. So we already did question number 16a and b. We are now going to do, for this video, we're going to do question number 16c, d. We're going to skip e and f, and then we're going to also attempt g and h. All right. So I trust by now most of you are done with the first one already. So we're going to see if we can write down the first question, the answer to the first question. I want you guys to help me out here. What is the first step that we're going to do? What is the first thing that we need to do when we are solving simultaneous equations? Any suggestions? Anyone? We can go baptize the equations. No? We can say, okay, this is equation number 1, and this will most probably be equation number 2. But before I write it as equation number 2, I think that will be the simplest of me to make y the subject here. So I'm just going to make y the subject here. So that's going to be 10 plus 2x is equals to y. You could have gone with another way, but I just see that that is the easiest way for me at this current moment. So that's going to be equation number 2. And then what I'm going to say now is I'm going to substitute equation 2 in equation number 1, and we write this nice and clear for the examiner to see, Iletu, and then we're going to say everywhere where there's a y, I replace the y with 10 plus 2x. Alright, so then I'm going to say there's a y there, so that becomes now 10 plus 2x minus x squared minus minus 5x equals to 0. Am I right? Then I'm going to look for like terms. What is the like terms here? Let's see if we can identify the like terms. 2x and negative 5x. What else? Only that. Alright, let's write then in descending powers negative x squared plus 2x minus 5x is equals to negative 3x plus 10 is equals to 0. I'm just going to zoom in slightly there for you so that you can follow there. Alright, now I don't like working with a negative, so I'm just going to take everything to the other side. So I'm going to write it as 0 is equals to x squared plus 3x minus 10. Alright, now we have a quadratic trinomial in terms of x, and this we've been doing since grade 10, so we can factorize this. Factors are going to be x and x. I would advise you to go write out the factors to the side to eliminate mistakes. For progression here within the period, I am not going to do that now, but I trust you are doing that steps because that eliminates mistakes. So that is going to be 5 and 2. It's going to be plus 5 and minus 2. So therefore we can say x is equals to positive 2 or x is equals to negative 5. Now you don't have to do a lot of, you can just say where x is equals to 2, we can substitute into equation number 2. So we're going to substitute into equation number 2, and then I'm most probably going to get 10 plus 2 times 2 is equals to y. Therefore, y is equals to 14. So that means x is equals to 2, y will be equals to 14. That's my one pair of coordinate pair that I have there. Then I'm going to do the other one where x is equals to negative 5, and then we're going to say 10 plus 2 times negative 5 is equals to y, so that becomes 10 minus 10, sorry, 10 minus 10, so that is equals to, y is equals to 0. Now we're going to say x is equals to, where x is equals to negative 5, y will be equals to 0. Did everyone get that answer on their own? Did I perhaps make a mistake somewhere? If I did, I do apologize. Please point out the mistake to me if I did make a mistake, but you can also go test your answers on that manner. All right, I'm going to give you a few minutes for number D because I see everyone is not done yet. I'm just going to help you. What would it be? How can we make, I'm going to name the first equation, equation number 1. That's going to be equation number 1. And then this I'm going to rewrite. How can I rewrite this? P is equals to 1 plus 3Q. And that's going to be equation number 2. Vergelijking number 2. So then I can substitute equation number 1 into equation, substitute equation number 2 into equation number 1. I'm going to give you a few minutes to try that now. My fellow South Africans, we are continuing with this, and what I've done now, I've identified or underlined the like terms or highlighted them in different various colors. So you can see there we have the constants highlighted, underlined, I beg your pardon, in purple, and then I have all of the terms consisting out of a q to the power of 1 in yellow, and then I have my q squared. Just I left it like that. So I'm going to write it in descending powers of q. What do I get? 18q squared. And then I'm going to go to the q to the power of 1. So that's going to be 12 plus 1, which equals to 13q minus 3q, which equals to 10q. Good. And then what remains is my constants. So I'm going to say 2 minus 3 is equals to negative 1. Minus another 1 is equals to negative 2. Now I can go, it looks a little bit big. I can go to the quadratic formula. What I can also do is I can divide by 2. Maybe that will be helpful because all of the terms is divisible by 2. If I'm going to divide by 2, I'm going to get 9x squared, 9q squared plus 5q minus 1. Alright, it's not going to make a difference. If you didn't see that, you can do that. Let's go and practice the quadratic formula and see perhaps we didn't make a mistake. So the quadratic formula tells me, first, before I even go to the quadratic formula, I need to determine the discriminant, because if the discriminant is negative, it's no use of me trying to attempt this. So that's the first step that we do. We go and work out the discriminant. So I'm going to say b squared is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Right, so I'm going to say do the substitution. That's going to be 10 squared minus 4, 18, and negative 2. What is the answer there?
It's
244. Okay, 244. And 244 is not a perfect square that I know of. So unless we're working in another dimension where it can perhaps be a perfect square, but not in our world right now. So now I see that this is not a perfect square, and it is also not a negative number, so therefore I go to my quadratic formula. Who can help me? What is my quadratic formula? Again, my quadratic formula is x is equals to
negative b.
Alright, but let's write it now in terms of what are we solving here?
We're
We're solving Q. So we're going to write it in terms of Q and not in terms of X. So I'm going to say Q is therefore equals to negative B plus minus the square root of the discriminant over 2A. Now you didn't have to write this down, but I would always encourage my learners and my students to write this as far as possible because it helps you to eliminate mistakes. So now I go and I do the substitution. So that's going to be, if I look at it, it's going to be negative 10 plus minus the square root of 244 over 36, 2 times 18, which equals to 36. Now I know there's going to be a negative answer as well as the positive answer. When they ask you to work out these answers, round off to 2 decimal places, but they did not ask us that. What was the instruction here? Leave in simplest third form. So we're going to say Q is equals to negative 10 plus the square root of 244 over 36, or Q is equals to negative 10 minus the square root of 244 over 36. What I'm going to do now, so that is my two answers for Q, and they asked me to leave it in simplest third form. But there was not only a Q here, there was also a P. So we're going to say where Q is equals to negative 10 plus the square root of 244, I'm going to have over 36. We're going to substitute that into the simplest equation, which is equation number 2. So we're going to say, let me just find this here, go up so that we can see that there a little bit like that. Okay, so let me see if I can make it smaller even. Alright, so there we have the equation number 2. So therefore that means P will be equals to 1 minus 3 of this whole thing. No? 1 plus 3, and then negative 10 plus the square root of 244 over 36. Now I'm going to show you how we can type this into your calculator and then just do a simple change there of the things. So let me just get my calculator, call up Uncle Casio, right? Nice calculator. I'm not promoting anything like here, but it is a good calculator to have within an NSC exam. I'm not sponsored by Casio or anything. If you have a sharp calculator, it's not the end of the world. You can actually do a lot of things with a sharp, or scripto calculators are also sufficient. It's just, you have your tools, you should know how to use it. So what I can do here is I'm going to say 1 plus 3 bracket. I'm going to open or create a fraction, and then I'm going to say negative 10, and I want everyone to practice this. Negative 10 plus the square root of 244, and then everything over 36. Go there and close the bracket, and then you get your answer is 1 plus square root of 61, everything over 6. Now the nice thing is I know that there's only a sign difference there. So you're supposed to write down that one answer in simplest form, and then you just go there and change the sign to a negative. Right? So it's actually the same answer, just the plus and the minus that changes them. So let's go write down that answer for us. So you can get your answers in third form, alright? And I would suggest that you get comfortable working with third form. Now when the instruction reads round up to 2 decimal places, all you have to do now is you go there to SD and then you use that answer. Okay? For both of them. So let's just go write our answer in third form. So this means where Q is equals to that, P will be equals to 1 plus, I actually didn't simplify the other one. I need to go simplify that, which equals to
opposite.
1 plus the square root of 61 over 6, and then and we can also say where q is equals to that means p will be equals to the square root of 1 minus the square root of 61 over 6. Alright, let us just simplify this on its own so that we can see. I'm a little bit lazy here, not working out the search forms on its own, but if I have a calculator like this, I don't have to do the unnecessary steps, which is a little bit time consuming. So let's just see the simplest search form here. So that's going to be negative 10 plus the square root of 244 all over 36. And that's your simplest third form there. No? The other one is probably going to be positive 5. That's the simplest third form. So it's negative and a positive of those answers. So this whole thing here, this thing right here, we can rewrite that in simplest form, and that's actually what they ask us, and it's going to be 5 plus the square root of 61 over 18. No? And then the other one is going to be negative 5 plus the square root of 61 over 18. Nice question there. Let's go back and let's go continue actually with question number G.